And it says we're live.
Sure. How many bodies we got in the comment section?
Yeah, comments are down this morning.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Not trying live. We can be good. Don't want anybody in the comment section.
yeah. Well, we got at least two people. So hello, whoever you are. Josh is one of them. Today has been an interesting day as far as the media is concerned.
Ooh, no kidding.
Yeah. Uh, I guess the first thing I want to start with, anyway. Yeah, RK's there. Sarah's there. Equal protection under the law. Hey, Joel. The dichotomy of what's going on. Hey, Stephanie. What's going on with two cases in the judicial system right now, or like actually only one now, is Ashley Babbitt, who was shot in the Capitol by a still unnamed, supposedly Capitol policeman. No, Richard, I didn't tell Ian about the peanut butter whiskey.
What the hell?
There is apparently a peanut butter flavored whiskey.
Somebody's going to hell for that one.
Yeah. So anyway, the officer that shot Ashley Babbitt has never been identified. There has never been any information come out about the justification, nothing else. But we have the other side of that coin in the shooting of Dante Wright. And the officer has been identified as Kim Potter. Of course, it was caught on video.
So was the Ashley Babbitt shooting.
Yeah. But Potter has not been allowed due process. She has been charged with second-degree manslaughter and locked up.
Hasn't posted bond.
No bond. She's been locked up.
Has bond been set, or she's just not been set? She's just not able to post it.
That I don't know. But what you see in the media, the only thing you've seen in the media is the pictures of Babbitt climbing through or starting to climb through the broken glass and being shot. What you had to go back and look at was the fact that there were at least three, riot Capitol Police sitting behind her. So the officer that shot her was shooting effectively toward his own people. Now, with the Wright case, she thought she had her taser out. She made a mistake, no question. But Wright had an arrest warrant.
Oh, she posted bond, $100.
Oh, she did post bond.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's out.
So, yeah, she made a mistake. No question. She should at least get due process for that.
Well, one of the interesting things about this, I'll go finish.
But the portrayal of the two people is entirely different. And Babbitt was portrayed as a right-wing extremist who basically got what she deserved. Wright, every picture you see is him holding his little boy.
And ballistic beatification?
Yeah, ballistic beatification yet again. And they're saying, oh, well, it was just a minor misdemeanor warrant. He was pulled over because he had an air cleaner on his rearview mirror. Well, the misdemeanor warrant is a little bit more than just a misdemeanor. Armed robbery with a weapon, and also carrying in possession of a weapon without a permit, and fleeing the police.
Felon in possession of a firearm, Texas.
Yep. Yeah, So we've got that for starters. And then this morning, the Democrats came out in a very public way in front of the Supreme Court and said they're going to pack the court. Their justification, because somebody outed them, was that Trump and the Republicans had stolen the Supreme Court.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're going to put 4 justices on. Yeah, copy that, Sanford. She's somewhere. We haven't seen her yet.
Well, the Pelosi just came on, did a presser where she said there's no plans to bring that bill out of committee. So,
Well, that's interesting because apparently,
I just saw a presser.
yeah, well, Mondieri Jones, who is a New York congressman, got up there and made all kinds of accusations against the Republicans.
Oh, yeah.
And said they're not only going to pack the court, they're going to kill the filibuster, and they're going to pass whatever laws they want to pass.
He's a congressman. He doesn't get any say over the filibuster or packing the court. That's a Senate deal.
Yeah, but
Whole bunch of congressmen seem to have slept their way through civics class. They don't have
Yep.
a clue what they're supposed to do or what their limits are.
yeah. The other interesting part was that the Democrats basically said this morning, and it was a senator that said it, and I can't remember his name, that, you know, this did not require, this did not change anything in the Constitution.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. This is.
So let's be honest, the filibuster is not mentioned. The filibuster is a procedural rule that the Senate adopted.
Yeah.
And nowhere in the Constitution does it mention anything about the number of justices. However, the Constitution is very clear about who advises and consents to Supreme Court justice nominations, and it's not, I say again my last, not the House of Representatives.
Nope.
And they can pass all the laws they want, but the only way you can, what is the word I'm looking for, amend
Yeah.
the Constitution is also quite clearly defined. So
Yep.
they can pass all the laws they want, and then they can fold them till they're all corners and shove them up until they gag on the back of their throats.
Yeah. Yeah. Steph says that she heard that Harry Reid even said it was a bad idea, much
Oh, yeah.
to the surprise and consternation of Jim Acosta. Yeah. Hey, Vance, you're not late. We just started on time for a
Well,
change.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm probably going to be a little grouchy today because by way of Facebook, I discovered that 1 year ago my retirement was
And here we go.
approved.
Yep.
And that has bad memories right now.
Ian's been on a roll this morning for those of you that were not in the various chats that we went through. And now Biden is saying that he believes Dems can share views on the court. That's not what this whole presser said this morning. Not at all.
Apparently, near as I can tell, certain Democrats can share views and no Republicans are allowed to share views,
Yep.
which is what I've been.
Yeah. Well, it's just like this whole infrastructure bill.
Oh, now humans are infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Humans have been infrastructure in the past. They were called slaves.
Yep. Which they would be perfectly happy putting us back to being. Oh, God. No, I'm not going to buy him a bottle of Genro. Oh, my God. Richard, you would not want to see Ian on a bottle of Genro.
Yep.
That's soju.
No.
It would be funny to watch, yeah, but we're not going to do
Briefly.
that to him. Yeah.
Until things start exploding.
Yeah, like your guts. That gives a whole new
Sure,
meaning to
guts.
projectile.
Yeah, let's go there.
To projectile puking, trust me.
Oh, trust me, folks, you don't want to see my inhibitions lowered.
Yeah, this is true too. But there are, you know, it's almost to the point that it's funny right now in a sad way because everything has become racist. Everything has become white supremacy. Everything has become, you know, if you're white or ancillary white or darkly tanned white, you know, it's anything we do is racist. If we hold a door for a woman, that's sexist.
I'd like to riff on that for just a second.
Feel free.
The United Nations, har, has a Council on Human Rights Abuses. President Trump pulled us off of that back in 2018. There are currently 47 bodies sitting on it. I use bodies quite deliberately. Notably, of those bodies, China, Cuba, Libya, Nigeria, North Bloody Korea, Pakistan, Qatar, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Sudan, and sodding Venezuela are sitting on the Human Rights Council. Well, the ficus, otherwise known as a houseplant in chief, appointed an ambassador to the United Nations who apparently here recently decided to address that august body of human rights abusers overseeing human rights abuses. And part of that worthy statement was, and I do quote, "I have seen for myself how the original sin of slavery weaved white supremacy into our founding documents and principles."
Yeah,
I
right.
seem to remember the houseplant in chief running his mush. I was about to say something else. Running his mush about unity. As a white guy, and you don't get any whiter than me,
This is true.
I am not feeling the unity love here.
Yeah, trust me, when you see it in shorts, Gondar is calling.
Yes, I can't help it that the majority of my DNA comes from way northern Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, Louise, you're right. If everything is racist, nothing is racist. But
Not everything's racist,
yeah,
just us.
just us. Yeah. uh, the other thing that I got from youngest daughter was the fact that apparently Santa Clara, California, there has been a quite the uproar over what the school is pushing, and that is the critical race theory.
Good.
And the school board is apparently telling teachers to be very careful how they portray it because
Oh,
parents are watching.
good.
Yeah.
Some city in California, I noticed as I was screaming at Facebook this morning, has required parents to send their sprogs back to school with laptops and earphones, which is apparently called Zoom in a room,
Yep.
to be watched over by an adult while their teachers log in from home.
Yep.
I would like the details of that to sink into everybody's minds right now. Their teachers are sitting on their ever expanding asses at home while the children go to school to be observed by another adult, probably getting paid.
Yep.
We used to have adults observing children in school. They were called teachers.
Yep. Used to be. Well, they're no longer teachers.
They're indoctrinators.
They're indoctrinators. Yeah. Yeah, Vince, lovely Santa Clara, heart of Silicon Valley. They do have a huge Asian population now because, quite honestly, the Asians are the only ones that can afford to live there. I was stationed at Moffett Field 3 different times over the years. And when I was there the first time in 1973, early 73, I rented an apartment out the front gate of Moffett and Mountain View. And I paid $125 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. When I went back in 77, that same apartment complex had been turned into condominiums. No upgrades, no nothing, but was now condos. That same one-bedroom apartment sold for $175,000.
Something that warms the cockroaches of my little heart. I just saw video footage of a protester getting some sweet, sweet jointer juice in the face, aka pepper spray.
Yeah.
And some caring individual who has way too much YouTube access was pouring Maalox in his eyes.
Yep. Oh, that was Minneapolis last night. I watched that.
Okay, that makes me smile.
Yep.
Gentle readers, I'm going to tell y'all, if you ever get exposed to pepper spray, water, air, and time,
Yes.
nothing else. Water, air, and time. Don't use milk. Don't use Maalox. Water to wash out your eyes. Air and time is the only thing that's going to decon reliably pepper spray. If you have some jackass with a biohazard tattoo pour Maalox in your eyes or any other crystalline stomach thing, you're going to get corneal abrasions.
Yep.
And I'm going to giggle even more.
And corneal abrasions, I will tell you for a fact, hurt like hell.
Corneal abrasions with pepper spray floating around are even better.
Yep. Yes, Sarah, it really was Maalox. You could see it on the bottle.
Yep, it's a blue bottle.
Yep.
Don't use milk. Don't use Maalox.
Oh, they were using milk. They had gallons of milk pre-staged. I was laughing my ass off.
The only thing milk does for you is one, it clabbers, and two, it's expensive. Milk does not do anything for pepper spray. Trust me, 26 years, I've been exposed to at least 5 different OC agents to get certified on 5 different jointer juices, and milk doesn't do any better than water, air, and time, other than the fact it gets into your uniform shirt and clabbers on the 103-degree drive home.
Yeah. Yeah, Steph, you can pee in somebody's eyes. That works about as well there as it does for a jellyfish sting. And pee is really nothing more than water.
It's urine is sterile coming out of the body.
Yep.
It's just, it doesn't do you any good. Water, air, and time.
Yep.
Period. Full stop. End of statement. Water, air, and time.
Well, we need to let them keep.
Oh God, yes.
Screwing up. I almost said something else.
I need to tell them that 1 to 10 sulfuric acid water will do it, and see if somebody would.
Yes, that would be, yeah.
we actually did disciplinary action on several cadets prior to pepper spray day. When I was assisting and teaching the pepper spray exposure course, I would tell them, do not bring any decon agents.
Yeah.
If you bring decon agents, you will be disciplined.
Yeah.
And we had this Generac on the pepper spray site, and every once in a while I'd see people, get sprayed and run over behind it, and I'd shoo her back there and punt the gallon of milk or Maalox or what the hell ever, and tell them to get their butts back out in the field and start walking.
Yeah.
Because people, the guy that was teaching it before I got seconded to help teach it, couldn't figure out why so many cadets were winding up after pepper spray exposure in the ER for corneal abrasions.
Yeah.
And it was getting to where he was looking at catching an investigation for spraying too close. Because if you pepper spray
too close,
you get hydraulic needle effect.
Yeah.
And so I went out there and noticed 5 or 6 cadets huddled up behind the Generac, and I lit off. I went full E6 on them. They didn't stop running around the field for about 10 minutes after I got done screaming.
Yeah.
But we would always have somebody, and I would tell them, do not bring, I don't care what you read on the black bloc websites. I don't
Yeah.
care what YouTube videos you've seen.
It doesn't work.
I don't care what experts you spout at me. Do not bring any decon agents other than water, air, and time.
When I went through it with Carolina, when I was down there, they brought an eye wash station out.
Mhm.
And then that's what we used.
We built one. We
Yeah.
built a multiple body
Yeah.
eye wash station.
Yeah, RK. Ivermectin is coming around again. And it is
For
being used.
deconning?
No,
Oh.
for COVID-19.
Oh,
Switch topics here.
okay. That was
And-
a hard right turn.
In a lot of the third world, it is the premier way to minimize the effects of COVID.
Well, no, okay.
But you know, here in the States, it's a cattle med that you can get OTC in the farm and ranch store.
Yeah, or you can get a vet's prescription to give it to your dog for heartworm therapy.
Yeah, you just got to do a little bit more calculation to give it to yourself.
That's the thing. What people don't understand in equatorial Africa, the low COVID numbers, I don't know if it's just they don't care and they're not counting bodies,
They're not counting bodies.
or the fact that ivermectin is a week or monthly dose for most of those folks.
Yeah.
As is hydrochloroquine, HCQ, hydrochloroquine, because it's anti-malarial and it's better to not die of malaria.
Yeah.
So they take hydrochloroquine on a regular basis.
Well, I'm firmly convinced the reason you and I didn't get to COVID when it got into our group is the fact we both had the shots all over the friggin' world.
Yeah.
For various and sundry things.
I've been on so many different anti-malarial medicines.
Yeah.
I've had gamma globulins for everything.
Yeah.
There was a time, a 7-year period, I swear to all that is holy, I was getting a gamma globulin shot every month. My butt hurt for years after that.
Jason says he did have good luck with J&J baby shampoo and water when he got OC training.
That's actually, if you're going to use something, Johnson & Johnson's baby shampoo, the eye safe stuff.
Yeah.
Eye safe stuff. It's probably the safest stuff you can use.
Yeah.
Won't cause any damage. But honestly, folks, I've been trained on Saber Red. I've been trained on Fox. That shit sucks.
Yeah.
Punch 2, Def Tech, Safariland, Pepperball. I've got a crap ton of OC exposures.
Yeah.
And I had to get re-exposed every time we switched. We either switched agencies, which had a different formula,
Yeah.
or the purchasing department decided this other formula was cheaper and switched formulas.
Yes. Yes, the no more tears formula, Richard. RK says, never occurred to me to use any alternative form of decon except what the CBR guys said worked.
Uh-huh.
And she says, and I'm still here, so they must have worked. They did.
Well, I'm just wondering how many of these protesters that are getting Maalox or other stomach ailments in their or stomach remedies in their eyes are going to show up at the ER later with corneal abrasions and blame it on the cops.
Yeah. Richard said, large sized cats and canines in Central Africa all have full tummies about now from all the bodies.
Or crocs.
Yeah. And the crocs
Crocs.
and the hippos.
That was one of the things when Idi Amin took over and he started his purging. There's a hydroelectric station in Lake Victoria that provides a lot of power for, or provided, they might still provide a lot of power for Uganda.
Yeah.
And fairly quickly, it got to where the hydroelectric, the power was browning out and flickering, which had never happened before.
Yeah.
And it turned out that there were so many bodies in getting dumped in Lake Victoria because of Idi's purges
Yeah.
that the crocodiles couldn't eat all of them.
And they were getting into the generators.
They
Yeah.
were jamming the turbines.
Yeah. RK says, if they go blind, they can't keep burning other people's stuff, can they? Yeah. They'll be down for about a week.
Well, if they go blind, the city will be out several $1 million in compensation for the cops blinding them, not their idiot black bloc allies.
Yeah. Well,
I
they're,
repeat myself.
yeah. Yeah. Apparently, speaking of black bloc, the head of BLM spent apparently depending on which report you want to believe, $3.6 million on houses, at least four of them.
Sweet, sweet reparations money.
Yeah. And apparently has refused all requests from any of the BLM organizations, multiple like New York City, for any accounting of the monies. So that's going to be interesting.
My heart bleeds.
Yeah.
Listen to the world's tiniest violin play softly in the background.
Yeah. The other funny thing last night was apparently CNN, of all people, got run out of the protest up in the Minneapolis area.
I hope they're wound up bleeding on the way out.
Yeah, apparently not.
Damn it.
Yeah.
You
But
can't
they
trust
actually
those
got
idiots.
run out.
Can't trust those idiots to do
Yeah.
anything right.
Apparently, they had a confrontation with one individual who was less than happy with the way they covered things, who got rather precise. There were a lot of beeps involved in that report last night.
Here to tell you, good shovel hook off the right hand will tend to that problem with a quickness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, IRS is perking their ears and sharpening their pencils, Richard. I would bet that BLM is probably, the way she incorporated it was probably 501c3. So I'm betting that, yay, Jonna, she's at the airport.
In Eugene or in DFW?
DFW.
Sweet.
So we'll see in 2 hours. You know where the house is. So the way she probably incorporated it, I'm betting that the corporation bought the houses, and she was apparently taking $200,000 a year as a salary plus expenses.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Poor, destitute civil rights organizations.
Yeah.
Begging and scrapping for the least handout.
Yeah. Speaking of handouts, I do have something that I'm rather proud of. Last month, I went over 20,000 sales.
Oh, that. Okay.
No, I didn't shoot anybody. Thought occurred, but I didn't. Went over 20,000 sales in my books.
I'm in a stabby mood today.
Which I consider pretty damn good in 7 years, considering I've never had any advertising or anything else. And I was told that I would never sell 200 books in my lifetime.
Well, that was an idiot.
Yeah. And I've also got, I'm within 6,000 of having 4 million page reads, which equates to something over another 10,000 sales.
There you
go. Yeah, Richard. So I'm now up to about $7 in income. So,
nobody told me this writing thing was as expensive as it is.
Yeah. But I owe a lot of people for my success. My alpha readers, my beta readers.
The people who bought the books.
The people who bought the books, yeah. Especially them. But, you know, granted, it's a solitary job, basically. But there are a lot of people that play into making me a success. Tina, who does my covers. Without her, I wouldn't have succeeded. Stephanie, who's actually on here, is my editor. We had an interesting chat the other day.
Did you throw a bag of commas at her and tell her to put them in wherever they go?
No. Oh. I think she's to the point she's just putting the extra ones on the bottom of it. The last page is becoming more and more suspect. But it's Amazon gets their cut. That's for damn sure.
Less cut than traditional publishing does.
Yeah. And I'll take you up on that, RK.
What?
She says she volunteered to be an alpha beta reader. She does it for her hubby and has enormous fun doing it. In other words, you're going to poke me with sharp things and call me things that I don't usually get called because I screwed something up. You will fit in fine with the rest of the group. Trust me.
Yeah, Jim, you had that dumpster 6 inches from where it actually is.
I actually, I did actually have one reader who went on Google Earth and took a picture of the bank in Fort Stockton to see if there was really a dumpster behind the bank, and sent that to me and went, damn, there really was one there. And my response to him was, yes, because I actually looked before I wrote the story. So my readers tend to be,
OCD?
yeah, well, that's one word. I swear to God, I'm going to get that picture and hang it somewhere in this house.
Which the picture of the sap picture?
No, the Leaning Tower,
Oh. Ugh.
and put it crooked
Ugh.
where the tower is straight and the picture's hanging crooked,
Ugh.
and watch people go bat nuts.
Ugh.
But I do, I do try to write a good story. And I guess a few other people think the same thing. But that's a result of the alpha and beta readers, the local gang here that I shove chapters at and go, what do you think of that?
The hell, Jim, this is correct. Oh, wait.
Yeah. I've heard that statement a few times.
The number of times I've had to redo, why the hell? The number of times I've had to redo scenes with hand-to-hand combat is just really mind-blowing.
Yeah. Well,
Well, not on you, on other folks.
Yeah. Well, combat's hard to write.
No, it's not. If I can give Mike Massa nightmares about a knife fight,
Yeah.
It ain't that hard to write.
Well, but it's hard to compress it down to the point where you're not so far in the friggin' weeds.
No, it's not.
For most people, it is,
Well,
because most people haven't actually done it.
most people haven't jumped on a rocket ship and gone to Mars either. However, people write about it all the time.
Yeah. Well, people tend to do that. Okay. It's called science fiction. Don't go there. But our little group up here, as we jokingly call it, the North Texas Writers, Pilots, and Shooters Association. Yeah, tracer fire definitely points both ways. Been there, done that.
No kidding.
Is an interesting group because we write so many different things between us, and we share stuff back and forth. And poor Dot, who's been on here with us a few times, Dot never realized when she got involved with Peter and now with this group that her education tended to change.
No kidding. I had to give her a lecture on small unit doctrine from 2 different continents.
Oh,
American doctrine versus other places' doctrine is completely different.
oh, that was friggin' hilarious that night, though. She came in with a map. I'm giving away a little bit here, but it's going to be a good story when it's done. She came in with this map. She went, well, this is what I'm thinking about doing. And
Well, she said, where should they insert? And so I sailed off with, where would Americans with American level, U.S. level of support, and C3, where would they insert?
Yeah.
And then Peter grinned at me and said, it's not U.S. level, think Rhodesia. So left turn into Fire Force. And
3 hours later,
first I had to explain what Fire Force was,
Yeah.
which is really annoying.
3 hours later, Dot walks out. Her eyes are about this big. She's going, oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Son of a bitch. How am I going to write this shit?
You put words on paper.
Yeah. Yeah. Richard, that's a very true statement. Uh, Nightmares for people that have been in military, law enforcement, fire. Yeah. Don't watch a lot of those shows because one, they're going to throw something or shoot the TV, one or the other.
No kidding.
Two, they're going to have nightmares. Because it's PTSD realistically. Yeah. Aaron, I appreciate that comment, and I'm hoping that it was changed in a positive direction.
What?
She says we've changed her education.
Now I'm worried.
Yeah, you and me both.
What facets of education? Because
I don't know, and I don't think we want to discuss that
Nope.
on here.
Nope. To plead the fifth on certain things that
Yes. Yeah, we had that
she
discussion.
swore she was 21.
Yeah, we had that discussion online in one of the Navy groups over the
yeah.
last couple of days. And one of the guys finally said, well, let me see. I think the statute of limitations is run out on most of the stuff.
No, it's always amazing. I have this habit that to break the ice at conventions or large groups, somebody will yell my name
Yeah.
or try to get my attention, and I'll jump and say, "Oh, the man was dead when I got there." And the number of people that laugh versus the number of people who look shocked is really instructive.
Yeah.
Swear the man was dead when I got there. A
Yeah.
whole bunch of people laugh, some won't.
Yeah. Yeah. Sanford, there are things that we do have a little bit more experience at than the average person.
The average person should have experience, which
Yeah.
is
Although,
people have wrapped themselves in cotton wool and Nerf.
Yeah.
Because they can just really set my teeth on edge.
although I did have fun with James Young over that one story that I wrote
Which one?
for the To Slip the Surly Bonds
Oh,
anthology.
James Young, aka Peter Grant stunt double.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a PhD in history, and he works for a certain organization with the Army. And I got tapped to write a short story, so I wrote as close as I could to what I actually did for a living. And James came back and said, well, I think you made a mistake here and here talking about aircraft in Keflavik aircraft in England at that particular time period. And I had to go back and tell James, I said, well, I'm a professor of history, but I was there. I know exactly what airplanes were parked on the ramp, down to what squadron they were, and how big an asshole the pilots were in those squadrons, because they were freaking Air Force. Anyway. Yeah, there are good cops out there, and the majority of law enforcement are good people.
I think that, honestly, I'm thinking the dynamic there is going to change. The good officers are about to start leaving en masse.
Yeah.
The good officers are about to have had enough.
Yeah.
And they're going to scarper off.
Yeah.
And that's going to leave the officers that cannot get employed anywhere else. And that's not a recipe for a good time.
No, it's gonna degrade open warfare. Yeah, Aaron, we do know a little bit about weapons. Richard sounds like Ringo talking about his sources background. Most of that's classified, but I'll give you what I can. Richard, I think our internet's working fine out here. Weather sucks. It's cold and it's miserable, but
it's bloody well sucking great huge boulders off the ocean floor. It should not be this cold.
No.
In the middle of April.
No.
I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt and jeans, for God's sake.
Yeah. I'm in short sleeves only for this. Then I'm going to go back and put the damn sweatshirt back on.
Do we know what the weather's forecast for this weekend?
It's supposed to rain tomorrow and a high of 60 on Saturday.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
It's going to be a squirrely year weather-wise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's global warming. Yeah.
Yeah, we got 6 inches of that in the front yard. Tired of it.
Yeah. Oh, and this one's blowing up. It's a video of apparently a DI down in South Carolina confronting some black guy who was wandering through the subdivision.
Okay.
And this guy has been accused of stealing stuff before. But now the DI has been arrested
For what?
for pushing the guy.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh, so much for his career.
Yeah. Yeah. The reporting on the good officers doesn't get headlines. Nope. I was lucky enough to meet Max Schindler a number of years ago in DC. And he was the first producer for Meet the Press with Lawrence Spivak. He was with them over 20 years, as long as Spivak was there. And we happened to be on the same airplane going to LA for something. I was going for a meeting. I don't know what he was going for. But he told me on the airplane, he said, if you give me blood and guts, I can get you 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He said, if you give me a positive story, he said, I can get you 30 seconds one time. So that's the difference. Blood and guts sells.
No, not only that, but in the current social media era of the 15-second attention span and
Excuse me.
clicks to pay.
Yeah.
These places don't get paid unless you click.
Yeah.
The blood and guts gets clicks.
Yeah.
People click on blood and guts, and that's how these news sites get paid. Click throughs.
Well, and that's where the term clickbait came from.
Mm-hmm.
Because the media drives the evolution. I mean, going back, to Walter Cronkite. I can remember, in the 60s.
If it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah, if it bled, it led. And every night on the news, starting in about 64, there was at least one segment on Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always 24 hours old because at the time they still had freezes on release of material,
Mm-hmm.
so they couldn't release it immediately. But every night there was a segment. Every night they were showing bodies on TV. And that was where the whole thing with body count came from. Because that's how the U.S. government under Westmoreland and Creighton and who else? Can't remember who the third general was. That was how they were saying we were, quote, winning Vietnam, was the number of dead bodies.
Yep, that was the metrics they chose.
Yeah.
A stupid way.
Yeah.
But it was easy. It was easy for when bean counters took over. Bean counters want metrics. They want simple metrics.
Yeah.
That they want numbers they can put up there and compare to the numbers from the next day, from the last day and to the next day.
Yep.
And that was the easiest way.
Well, that was McFarland. He was.
It's like the idiot philosophy of
Or McNamara. Yeah.
stored kills.
Yeah.
It's ammunition. It's not stored kills.
Yeah. Yeah. McNamara was the head of GM before he was brought in to be the defense secretary.
SecDef?
Yeah. And that's how he accounted for things as a budgeteer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, John, Facebook is another one. Making people angry keeps them engaged.
Yep.
And when you look at what trends on Facebook, on Twitter, although I don't do Twitter, I don't do Instagram very often.
I refuse to do Twitter.
Yeah.
I made a Twitter account to call a buddy in the FBI's attention to a threat being made against a convention by a social justice warrior. And that's the only time I've used Twitter.
Yeah. And they They use the same, yeah, and Stephanie's right. They use the same method to cause COVID control measures. You know, they're driving the media, is driving the country. But I think based on what has happened today, we're going to see a change because the Democrats are out in the open now with what they want to do, which is total control. They don't ever want to lose another election.
No. I hate to
They,
break the news to them. Elections get lost.
yeah, they are deathly afraid it's going to happen in 2022.
Well, it should be. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath. But they're using everything they can to gain control of the entire government. They're right now they can't get the HR1 SR1s through because there are enough people on the Democratic side that don't like it.
Those bills are toxic.
Yeah.
Nobody in their right mind, which lets out most of the Democrats,
Yeah.
wants to support that bill because they're toxic.
Yeah. But they know that this is their only chance to take control. They've got to bust the filibuster. But they've got Manchin and Sinema standing in their way.
They'll regret it as soon as they do.
Yeah.
See, half me wants to break the filibuster. Go ahead, bust the filibuster. And then when the Republicans have control, and they'll get it sooner or later,
yeah,
I get to listen to the screaming of the Democrats.
May not be in our lifetime.
Oh, it will be.
Well, you know, it goes back to the whole thing with Harry Reid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuclear option. We're not going to allow, we're going to get rid of the 60 votes to confirm a presidential nomination. We're going to go to simple majority. And then Donald Trump came into office.
Now, that was judges.
It was anybody.
Yeah, it was anybody, but it was included judges.
Yeah.
And that was why they did it.
Yep. And then Donald Trump started nominating people. And they said, we need to have 60 people. Nope. You jackasses are the ones that removed that.
Yeah.
Suck it. And now we have 6 conservative judges in the Supreme Court, and the Ninth Circuit is majority conservative.
Yeah. RK. Harry Reid is now not in favor of dumping the filibuster.
Yeah.
Because he remembers what happened.
Sooner or later, the shoe will be on the other foot.
Yeah.
Then what?
Oh, criminal apprehensions on the border. Total in 2020, 2,400. Total year to date, 5,400. Arizona Attorney General is asking for a state of emergency over the border crisis.
Wow.
And we don't even, one report that I saw estimated that they had 10,000 plus getaways last month just in the Tucson sector.
And the media needs to be ensuring that the House plant in chief takes a big old honking bite of the crap sandwich he created, but they're not gonna.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're still saying it's not a crisis; it's a surge.
Codswallop.
Yeah.
It's a crisis.
Yeah. When they've now had to expand the Donna, Texas facility, not once but twice, and they're still overfull.
And it was all created by Biden getting on TV and saying, we're not that bad, come on. And so
yeah,
I'll be hornswoggled. They came on.
Yep.
Fancy fucking that.
Yep. Yeah. Ficus in chief.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes the White House the Fern Bar. Yeah, that's close enough for government work.
The House plant in chief. Because I still think, honest to God, folks.
Yeah, Jesse, they're still trying to blame Trump for it.
Oh yeah.
But the funny part is with Title 42 and the return to Mexico or return to home country for the children, the Border Patrol was actually able to do their jobs. And they did it well. I mean, granted, we were still seeing the bleed through of drugs and the people getting in illegally. But what you have to understand is CBP is not that large an organization.
No.
I met two of the guys in DC a number of years ago that were line officers that had been pulled up to DHS to do some work. And they were both GS-13s. And they were told point blank, if you tow the line up here, you'll get a 14 out of it, if not a 15. And they took a look around with what was going on in DHS under Obama, and they lasted about 6 months. And then they volunteered to go back to the line as 13s rather than take a promotion.
Like me walking to a point office and telling the superior in there, what the hell do I have to do to go back home?
Yeah. The dodo. Oh, Richard.
What?
The dodo is not extinct. They became Democratic congressional critters. And RK goes, that's insulting to dodos.
I will maintain that the presidential term of the current houseplant-in-chief is going to go down in history as a classic example of elder abuse.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I find interesting, Harris was put in charge of the border.
Still has not done a press conference down there.
Has not done a press conference, hasn't been down there. Apparently, they're trying to figure out how to pay people in the triangle in South America money not to come.
Oh, that works a charm. That works a treat. I'm here to tell.
Yeah. That came out last night.
Who the fifth graders in charge of government? Because that's some grade school level
Harris.
horse pucky.
The only thing she knows how to do is on her knees. Have you ever wondered why she laughs at questions? It's because she has no
Doesn't have
answers.
a clue.
She doesn't have a clue. Yeah. Yeah, Jesse says, Ian, I've been saying that since he was campaigning from a basement. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I swear it's elder abuse.
Oh,
I'd like to see how much Aricept the White House goes through in a week.
yeah. Steph, I had had heard she was going to Guatemala and Honduras. I didn't realize she was going to make a stop in Mexico. That'll be interesting.
Paris?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, that's a good question. And apparently, we'll get to see Biden make a formal speech to the Congress end of the month.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, they've invited him on the 28th of April to give a State of the Union speech. Yeah, Richard, she'll probably go to Cancun.
Well, depends, I say, he says smirkingly. I wonder if it's going to be one of those mid-chest up shots so you can't see the depends distorting the fit of his slacks.
Who knows? Jason, God. The only difference between Harris and Lewinsky is the quality of their dry cleaning. That's actually a fair point.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. Well, she was in San Francisco, so they do know. San Francisco and Sacramento, so they do know how to clean clothes out there.
Willie Brown hung on to her longer than Clinton hung on to Lewinsky.
Yeah.
So
Or she hung on to him.
either way.
Yeah. Oh, well, this one went to hell and gone in a basket, didn't it?
It did, though, didn't it?
Yeah, Richard, it does kind of depend, but
Har.
depends, whatever. Yeah, that thing. Oh,
Well, it's not too long before Congress will shut down to start the campaigning for the midterms next year.
oh, they already have. Oh yeah, here we go with another UFO.
That right there is a drone I've seen advertised in Hammer Schlemmiker.
Yeah.
So why the hell don't they have a U.S. Marine with a shotgun practicing skeet?
Probably because there was a airplane above it.
A shotgun.
I know.
practicing his skeet shooting skills.
Sanford, I'm not. The only good qualities I can think of that Harris had is she's non-white.
Oral technique.
Well, he says that she must have had some good qualities, otherwise the Dems would have not shoved her down their throats. But I think really, damn.
Yes, something got shoved down her throat.
You know that, folks, there are just days when you cannot win. Good night. Oh, we have truly lost control of this one today.
Did we ever have control? Honestly,
No.
all right then.
Yeah, Vince, it's a Biden insurance policy. Yeah,
Oh, no kidding.
that's same as Biden being Obama's. Yeah.
Well, honestly, can you imagine being, say, Putin in Russia, or Abdullah in Jordan, or any of the major male political figures that have had to scrap their way up,
Yeah.
meeting Harris for the first time,
Yeah.
knowing what any leader of a country with a half-assed decent intelligence service knows.
Oh, yeah.
It's, this is not a way to start off from a strong position.
No, it's not. And that's the sad part, because
There's no South American country that's going to tolerate being told what to do by a mistress.
no. And the sad part is that I really believe the only reason she was put in there was she was non-white.
Surprise me. And female.
Yeah, and she was a female. Well, actually, Richard, there is another way that they could have taken that drone out rather quickly. The only problem is it would have probably fried the airplane with it, and that's the Spy 1 radar. Believe me, that thing can do a number on electronics.
Give the crayon eaters a shotgun and tell them to smack it.
Yeah.
And then let them go. It will
but they'd
come
have
down.
to go get the shotgun out of the armory,
They'll,
which would mean they would have to get the gunnery sergeant out.
they'll giggle all the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was at night, so it would have been, fire for effect.
Give the crayon eaters the orders and give them out of the way. Trust me, there are E3, E4 Marines that lie awake in their bunks thinking of ways to do this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're Marines. Yeah. Yes, they are. Oh, yeah.
Marine, I want that drone gone. Sir.
That's,
Marine, you see that drone? Yes, sir. I don't want to. Understood, sir.
yeah. The reason I'm laughing is that PhD out in Yokosuka that apparently had to spend the night in the enlisted barracks died.
Oh,
Lieutenant.
God. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. The tweet is hilarious.
Yeah.
Speaking from an NCO point of view, it's like, and?
Yeah.
Because apparently somebody was running down the hall, and a enlisted was running down the hall screaming, naked, screaming that he drunk 2 Four Locos, and his primary center of attention since puberty had abs.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and?
Yeah. And the other good part was the tomahawks and knives in the barracks.
Shocking.
Yeah.
I
And
remember,
the alcohol they consumed.
shocking.
Yeah.
I remember chasing down a PFC, running like his butt was on fire from a midget in an Oni mask.
You were supposed to throw the midgets out at midnight.
We had to duct tape him to his bunk until he came down.
Yeah.
Then we threw the midget out.
Yeah.
Midget was pissed because the midget had been promised a great deal of money to do that, and I wasn't coughing up the money.
John, you're exactly correct. You do not want to be in the barracks with enlisted because they do need their space, and an officer should never invade it unless invited, or in the situation we were in where we were a crew and had no friggin' choice,
Oh,
but we let the enlisted do what they wanted to.
but if you want to have your mind blown, go through the enlisted barracks with a UV light, and
Oh yeah.
I might add, look at the ceiling. Then ask yourself, how the hell? And trust me, any answer you come up with isn't even close to how they did it.
Yeah, Richard, we used to have beer machines in the barracks, enlisted barracks in the Navy too. And I can remember when beer was actually cheaper than Coca-Colas.
I
Because
can
a beer
remember-
was a quarter and they raised the price on Cokes to 35 cents.
I can remember when they fired up I forget where the hell I was, but they still had the steam radiate heaters in under the window in the barracks
Oh,
where
hell,
you used to burn your socks. And came winter, and they turned on the steam, and the amount of alcohol that was circulating through that particular radiator ignited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were creative back in the day.
Creative ain't the word for it.
Yeah.
Like I said, trust me, take a UV light into enlisted barracks and look at the ceiling. Then ask yourself, how
Well,
the hell?
we might have had enough of one particular officer on our deployment in the Philippines, and we lured a monkey into his room.
Oh, I like the way this is going.
Not saying how we got the door open, we got the monkey in the room. And we sat over well away from his space, but we could see the door. And he came in, opened the door, and shall we say hilarity ensued.
A young second lieutenant who decided it was a good idea to drop a crap ton of E6s on the parade ground in the front lane rest, have them do push-ups while he recreated the Patton speech because he was disappointed. That night, apparently, person or persons unknown may have gotten a hold of a couple of Tomcats and were under his open room window when they slapped turpentine across the Tomcats' butts and heaved them through the window.
Oh, that had to be fun. Yeah, Richard, enlisted room ceiling tiles, not just enlisted, trust me, were common areas for health and welfare searches.
Well, whenever somebody,
God, that brings back some memories.
Yeah. as an E6, whenever somebody unasked a room, moved PCS out, 2 days after they left, we had to go through and lift all the ceiling tiles.
Yeah.
And get the expended cases, live ammo, magazines, and what the hell else ever was up there.
Yeah, it had been stuffed up there by person or persons unknown.
But probably not even him.
Yeah.
But it's the stuff. We got a key of what I hope like hell was a full kilo of what I hope was baking powder out of a ceiling one time. It's like, the hell.
Yeah. Well, folks, we've wasted another hour and 4 minutes of your time today. We thank you for listening in. We thank you for the comments as always.
Fire in the hole.
Yeah. Fools Cons this weekend, so it'll be light commenting and
Oh God.
posting.
Oh God.
And Tuesday should be an interesting one.
Yes. 15 pounds heavier and probably hungover.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, have a good weekend. Be safe.
Be safe, guys.
Remember, don't pet the sweaty stuff. Don't sweat the petty stuff. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.